Welcome back to Film Flashback, where I take a look at movies and shows to see what makes them great or what could have made them better. I am your host, MD, and this time I wanted to talk about the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka and explain why the best is yet to come. But before we begin, here's your warning that there are major spoilers ahead. First of all, I love lightsaber battles. I have always enjoyed Star Wars for many reasons, but the lightsaber fights have to be at the top of the list, and Ahsoka definitely delivers. The opening scene where she fought the 3 droids right here was a great start to the episode. I love her fighting style with the 2 lightsabers too. I also really enjoyed the showdown she had with this character. It felt like a standoff between 2 gunslingers in one of those old westerns. Another good one was the fight between Sabine and Shin. I liked how Sabine lost since she hasn't been training like Shin has. That's why it didn't make sense for Rey to defeat Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens. She had no real training and was going up against someone who had trained in the Force and with a lightsaber for many years. But what I am really looking forward to are the showdowns that are coming. You know Sabine will face Shin again and will be ready for the next time. Of course Sabine should win, but it will still be great to see. And I am already excited for the next time Ahsoka faces off against this Inquisitor. I bet whoever is behind the mask is someone she knows, and finding out who it is will make it even harder for her to win. But the fight I am really looking forward to the most was already teased in the trailer for this show. Ahsoka versus Baylan Skoll. Baylan has already proven to be a worthy adversary, so I believe the battle between them will be epic. Now this leads me to the next aspect of the show I'm really looking forward to. There are so many unanswered questions that will be resolved by the end of the show. While some may be frustrated by not having answers to questions right away, I think it entices you to check out each episode as it reveals more details each week. For someone like me who didn't watch the Star Wars Rebels animated series, I had no idea who certain people were. We met Ahsoka all the way back in season 2 of The Mandalorian, so I knew who she was. But the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka left audiences with so many questions like, who is Ezra? Who is Thrawn? Where is he? Who are the ancient beings depicted in this temple? What happened between Ahsoka and Sabine? And who is this? Also, what is Baylan? If he's not a Jedi, then what has he become? I thought it was cool how his lightsaber was orange instead of red like Vader's. But why was that? The first 2 episodes do a great job of introducing all of these storylines for those of us who have not seen the Rebels show, while providing cool Easter eggs for the fans who have. These episodes were kind of a prologue, setting up the major conflict of the series, so now comes the payoff. We get to find out who Ezra is and where he's been all this time, the answers to why Ahsoka chose to leave Sabine, and details about their complicated relationship are coming. I bet we will learn so much more about Baylan and why he is no longer a Jedi. And we finally get to see Thrawn in action, which leads me to the last component of Ahsoka I'm truly looking forward to. A great villain. I love a strong villain, and I have always believed a powerful enemy makes a show greater because it forces the hero to rise up to defeat them. So the stronger the enemy, the better the hero has to be in order to win. This is especially the case when the villain seems nearly invincible. In The Empire Strikes Back, we watch Vader chop off Luke's hand and pin him in a corner as he barely escaped. This forced Luke to heal, train, and get better so he could ultimately win. It's a classic story that always works when done right. So far, Baylan is the best part of the show for me. He felt like Vader as he ripped through everyone in his path. Baylan has had little screen time, but it's been really fun to watch. I also like it when a villain actually makes a valid point for why they are seeking power. Thanos in Infinity War wanted to eliminate half of all life because there would be not enough resources to go around for everyone. It made sense even though the way he went about it was obviously wrong. This really makes me wonder about Baylan's motivation. He's seeking unfathomable power, but what will he do with it? I'm also excited to finally find out who is Grand Admiral Thrawn. I love it when a character is teased for a long time because it sets up so much tension before we finally meet them. Back in season 2 of The Mandalorian, Ahsoka battled Morgan so she could find out where Thrawn was. Then we heard about him again near the end of season 3. Now we finally get to meet him and find out what makes him so special. Of course, Ahsoka isn't perfect. As excited as I am to see what happens next, there are a few elements that I wish would be different. For one, Ahsoka is a little too stoic, which makes her a bit boring at times. Other than her exciting lightsaber heroics, most of the time she's seen folding her arms and looking on. The opening scene in the temple also felt too long as she navigated through the puzzle. I wish there was more tension here by having the temple start to collapse, which would have forced her to speed up. Ahsoka's conversation with the droid here seemed way too slow as well. And her talk right here with Sabine felt the same way. Then when she investigated Sabine's place looking for this droid, it was slow again. Mando was stoic in the first 2 seasons of his show, so maybe Ahsoka is trying to do the same thing here. Another issue I have with Ahsoka, and really Star Wars lately, is how Sabine survived a lightsaber to the gut. The first time I remember watching someone get impaled by a lightsaber was when Darth Maul stabbed Qui-Gon Jinn in The Phantom Menace. Now Qui-Gon, a Jedi Master I might add, went down right after and died. But we saw Sabine also get stabbed, and she was ready to go in the next scene. It felt like she, for one, healed way too fast, and 2, should not have survived at all. And this is not the first time we've seen this either. In Obi-Wan Kenobi, we saw Reva get stabbed with a lightsaber not once, but twice. First by Anakin when she was a child during Order 66, and again by Vader in the same spot in episode 5 of this show. That was also unbelievable how she survived, but at least she suffered as a result of her wounds. I always felt lightsaber battles were supposed to leave you on the edge of your seat because one blow should be fatal. Even stormtroopers wearing armor go down with one hit from a lightsaber. Seeing how Sabine survived this and was ready to go right away makes these fights seem less impactful. And maybe Sabine survived because Shin purposely missed major organs, or maybe it was because of the great medical care she received, but we never get an answer on this. It would have been cool if Ahsoka told her she was lucky to be alive because Shin barely missed her liver or something. It just seems strange how some survive this and some don't. And the final issue I have with Ahsoka, and again with Star Wars lately, is how gullible the Republic is shown to be. Season 3 of The Mandalorian dedicated an entire episode to this by showing how the seeds of the Empire are starting to grow right under their noses. It seems silly how members of the Republic are so trusting after having been at war with them for so long. In some ways, it makes sense to use some of these people because they know how their ships and their weapons work, so they can decommission them. But these former officers and workers from the Empire are mostly unsupervised, which makes no sense. Shows like Ahsoka and The Mandalorian are painting the picture that the Republic was far too proud and overconfident by beating the Empire, which is why they are conducting themselves this way. But the Empire killed and tortured them for several years, so it wouldn't make sense for the people of the Republic to act this way. If anything, they would be even more cautious and destroy every bit of what they used to be without giving a member of the Empire any sense of hope. It only took a few minutes for Ahsoka and General Syndulla to figure out something was wrong here. It should have never gotten to this point, and the Republic should have been on top of this. And now that it has been exposed, I would think the Republic would investigate all of the facilities and change protocols so this can't happen again, right? But in spite of those issues, I believe with the final lightsaber showdowns, answers to so many questions that are coming, and the reveal of the new big bad for Star Wars, we are in for a really fun ending to this show. And there you have it, my review of episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka and why the best is yet to come. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of this video and this show. Also, please like and subscribe so you can check out future videos on my channel. As always, thanks for watching.